Kathy Taylor, and I am a Gold Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. And I just wanted to give you a few tips tonight about social media and Facebook in particular. So if you feel like you are posting about Plexus on Facebook and nobody is listening, nobody's responding, people aren't paying attention, then these tips might be helpful for you. Because there are some rules to how Facebook works, and knowing what those rules are is going to make you more effective. So there's two main goals when we are using social media platforms for our business. And that is, we want to engage our audience, okay? We want to get them involved in what we're posting about. And B, we want to make sure that people are actually seeing our posts, right? Those are the two main things. So a couple of suggestions for engaging your audience. The first thing is to look back through your newsfeed and try to put on new glasses, okay? Imagine it's kind of like in your own house when you walk through your house all the time and you have certain little piles of things, and most of the time you don't even notice those things anymore because you just get so used to seeing them there. And then you are going to have a house party, and it's like you see your house through fresh lenses, right? So someone's coming in for the first time, you suddenly notice all these piles of things you need to clean up before everybody gets there. Okay, so you want to look at your Facebook newsfeed through fresh lenses as though you were seeing it for the first time, as though you were an outsider looking in. And the first thing you want to ask yourself is what I'm posting about me? Is it personal? You have to remember that your Facebook audience gets onto Facebook to find out about you. So if you're just constantly sharing, clicking share, 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 and sharing cute graphics and little funny jokes, it doesn't give people a really clear sense of you. Yes, they might learn a little bit about you by seeing, what you like or what you think is funny, but they're not really getting to know you. People are by nature nosy. Okay, so we want to play into that a little bit, and they really want to get a peek into your life. What are you doing? What are you experiencing? How do you feel about things? So if your Facebook newsfeed is full of lots and lots of little shares and there's nothing personal on there, that's a very poor way to engage your audience. So make sure that you're sharing personal things about your life, about what's going on with you. Share about your kids, share about your pets, share about your hobbies and your interests. Share about your house, what you're doing, what things do you think about. So make sure that you're sharing really personal posts. It's fine to share. I don't want to tell you what to do with it. It's your Facebook page. You can do whatever you want with it. I'm just telling you what's going to be most effective for your Plexus business. And to engage your audience, you really do need to keep it personal. I'm not saying you can't ever share a good quote, an inspirational quote, or something funny, but you want to make sure that you're not just doing that only, that you're also sharing personal things. And you want to be careful not to post, share. Sometimes I see people and they'll share like 20 funny or inspirational quotes all in one day. And what happens is their Facebook newsfeed kind of becomes like white noise. And the one Plexus post they made gets lost in the fact that they posted 20 other things that day. So you want to be mindful of how often you're posting, not posting every 5 minutes. Be mindful and what's the word I want? Intentional about what you post. Okay, so make sure you're posting at least 1 to 2 very personal things every day. You can maybe share 1 thing a day. You don't want to share 20 things a day. You also want to another way to engage your audience is to post things that have a call to action that encourages people to comment on your posts. And we'll talk about why that's important in a minute. So things like asking for advice is great on Facebook, and you really will get good advice. So if you're thinking of getting your carpets cleaned, ask on Facebook. Say, which carpet cleaning companies do you use? Who would you recommend to me? If you're wanting to try a new restaurant, I'm not telling you to make things up, but again, just as you're going about your life, and you want to try something new, ask on Facebook. Say, what new restaurants have you tried recently? What do you like? What would you recommend? Another kind of call to action would be things like where you ask a question and you're asking people to actually comment on your posts. Like I've seen a lot of them going around, what's a book that you can read over and over again because you love it so much? And share what yours is and then ask people to comment below. Sometimes it seems like a funny little math puzzle and say, who can solve this problem? And you'll get lots of people commenting below. So that would be like a call to action post. Another thing that can be very engaging for your audience is to post a video of yourself. It can be very brief, but just a video, maybe sharing your why or your experience with the Plexus products. Again, people get on Facebook to hear about you. So they don't want to just see a bunch of product information. They want to hear about what your experience on the products is. And a video can be very engaging. A lot of times too, if you feel like nobody's seen your post, you never know how many people for sure are seeing your post. When you post a video, it will say how many views it has. So you might be surprised how often you might only have 2 or 3 likes on your video, but you'll look and see you have over 50 views, which I think is really interesting. So videos are a great thing to do. I also loved when we went to a Super Saturday training with Lori Harrison, who's a very successful Diamond Ambassador, Plexus Ambassador. She shared a tip that she said, which is people love to hear stories. So if you're ever sure, like you feel like you don't have anything exciting to post about that day, nothing personal going on that you think anybody would care about, she said, share a story from your life. She said, walk into your house and find an object, any object, take a picture of it, and then tell the story about it. You know, it could be a family heirloom. It could just be that you have a memory associated with that item. And she said that can be very engaging for your audience. So be mindful of who your audience is and look for ways to engage them and share about your personal life and give them really a peek into you and who you are. The other thing is you want to make sure that people are actually seeing your posts on Facebook. So as I mentioned before, one of the things we want to avoid is sharing 20 million things all day long. When we do that, people tend to kind of tune you out. So make sure that you're keeping it personal. Another way you can make sure that people are actually seeing your posts is in those call to action posts where you're getting lots of people to comment on your post. So Facebook uses these algorithms to decide who you are really friends with, not just Facebook friends with. And the truth of the matter is you might have 200 or 300 friends on Facebook. You are not going to see every single one of their posts all day long. If you did, it would take too long to scroll through. So Facebook has these algorithms, these fancy mathematical algorithms that decide who gets to see which one of your posts. And part of the way it determines that is by who is liking and commenting on your posts and whose posts you are liking and commenting on. When you comment on someone else's post, Facebook goes, oh, they must really be friends. And all of a sudden, your Facebook posts are going to start showing up in that person's news feeds and vice versa. So it is important to take time to comment and like other people's posts. And then those call to action posts can be great because if people are commenting on your posts, then they're more likely to see your Plexus posts as well. Another thing is to take time to wish people happy birthday. Again, that makes that personal connection. Both on Facebook and, it makes somebody's day. It's a nice thing to do. Another thing that's really important is to private message people. When you take the time to reach out to someone and say, hey, I'm doing this Plexus thing. I'm really excited about it. Would you like to know more about it? As soon as you've sent that private message, even if they're not interested, even if they say no, again, Facebook recognizes that, and your posts are going to start popping up in their feed, and vice versa, you will see their posts. So they're more likely to see your posts if you private message them. And the last thing is just to remember, if you feel like you're just posting out into the void and nobody's paying attention, know that you are not alone and that that's not true. If you will consistently post over time, you will be shocked the number of people who are watching your posts who never like anything, never comment on anything, never private message you asking for more information, and months down the road, sometimes years down the road. John and I still have people over 2 years doing this who will reach out to us out of the blue, having never liked, commented, or messaged us about anything, and out of the blue they reach out to us and say, hey, I've been seeing your Plexus posts. We're like, oh, really? For 2 years? Because we've been posting about it for a long time. But no, people are watching even if you think that they aren't. And so consistently posting and staying excited and passionate about Plexus and about what it's doing for you is really, really key. So just a few little tips to help you out. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below and I'll do my best to answer them for you. Have a great night.